you have to make sure that every team member knows the vision, that believes the vision, and is constantly course correcting daily tasks, everything that's happening to be in absolute alignment with that vision. Um, and we have a resource for that I'll share at the end of the webinar. But if only 40% of the defects are from code, what about the other 60% of the defects? Um, Defects are pretty much guaranteed and encouraged by bad software process of vision misalignment, disconnects. A process that lumps in multiple activities in a single named stage is really going to mask defects and make it harder to discover until the destructive impacts of them are already being felt. For example, if the stages of your software development lifecycle in your project are just not started or in development and done, and that's all you have, then you're not going to be able to notice defects before they've already become costly. And again, this is the 60% of defects that are not code problems. By separating out more stages, like you see on the screen, you give yourself more signals for detecting if defects are being generated in a particular stage. If an item of work has to go backwards in the process, then you have just discovered a defect. The general software development lifecycle is designed to work in a linear fashion from left to right. And the Kanban style of work tracking board is pretty much well implemented across the industry. But this process assumes that work is complete and of high quality in a particular stage as it moves to the next stage. If an item of work has to move backwards in the process, then that's because some piece of work that we thought was finished is not really as quite as it should be. And this condition has to be our definition of a defect. It's an internal defect. It's not a customer reported defect, but it has to be in our definition of a defect. Either something is missing or it is not as it should be. And the research we've examined earlier shows us that the defects can occur with any activity in a software project. Just look at the research of Capers-Jones. He kind of details it in detail. If a software engineer is writing the code for a particular feature and then realizes that a mock-up drawing of a particular screen is missing, hasn't been created, then this is a defect in the stage for user interface design or user experience. And that stage wasn't done completely. Or for example, deciding how a screen should look could be part of analysis and design. If the mock-up is missing and we haven't decided how the screen should look, then we have a problem in the part of our process where we should have made that decision. And we're not really ready for code yet. So there's no right thing the developer can do except kick it back in the process because we didn't finish a stage. If we don't stop the line and fix that defect immediately, then the look of that particular screen is really going to be up to the individual personality and maybe experience of the person who happens to be writing the code and makes a guess. And inevitably, a downstream party is not going to like some of the elements on the screen and is going to send it back with a bug report of some sort. And now we have the recipe for rework. It's far too common for this to happen when there is schedule pressure, especially on the project. But when is there not schedule pressure, really? There always is. And that's where you come in as an experienced software leader who has gained hard-fought wisdom in how to deliver software. You know that even with the schedule pressure, allowing slips in quality is going to waste valuable portions of the schedule that you're not going to get back. You need the entirety of the schedule that's available to go towards delivery of software features and not fixing defects, not fixing problems, or reworking undone work. And the only way to do this is by preventing almost all defects from escaping an individual's desk while working on one of these stages of the software development lifecycle. All right, as we close up, we want all of you to succeed. And it's kind of a 5-part formula. You create clarity so that everyone's going in the right direction. Then you make sure that you establish a high level of quality right away and keep it there so that you don't generate more work for yourself in the form of defects. Then you make sure that the software is stable in production and get it there quickly, because that can also generate rework. And then you optimize the process by which you flow work through your team. And over time, you continually increase speed. And once you implemented these concepts, then you settle into a rhythm of leading your team and reinforcing all of those. And when you have a change, you go back and reinforce one of them. So we have some tools that are available. We have a team alignment template that'll help you create clarity. We have an effectiveness assessment on the clearmeasure.com website that will help you figure out maybe the hot spots in your software organization to focus on first. And we also have a Microsoft Excel template for a software team scorecard that you can implement for a software team to have a good report up to the executive level. And then we have several guides on our website. We have the Software Leaders Handbook, and then we have Success for Business Critical Software Projects. It's another mini book on our website. Those are all resources that we would encourage you to make use of. And of course, I want to highlight again the assessment, clearmeasure.com/assessment. And that'll quickly get you a sense of maybe what the hot spots that you need to prioritize to work on your team. And as always, we love having such a big group in our webinars. I think I was able to answer all of the questions that came through in line as I was going through the material. The next webinar we have on our schedule is May 7th, and the topic there is how to conquer the causes of slow software delivery. We recognize that many businesses are, and more businesses all the time, are funding internal software development teams, and the industry as a whole still isn't happy with the pace of software development. And there's some common things that you can do to speed up development. So this webinar aims to go over those common categories and help your team succeed. So I think the last question I answered in the last segment, which is awesome. Thank you so much for coming to this webinar. It was great. And thank you to the people who offered some insightful questions. I was able to kind of add to the content. And man, God bless you. Have a great day.